By now, you know the drill. Welcome back to another exciting episode of 4 Wolves Takes for your boy. Artis Woods will bring you 4 fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes. As always, it's an honor, a pleasure, a privilege to be in front of you all this morning to talk Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. And as you all can see, the thumbnail, I'm here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to what I have seen with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I must admit, man, I'm not going to lie to y'all. There is more bad and ugly than there is good. I'm going to be honest. And I think it's because of the expectations I have for this team. I know this team is slightly different now. This team was in the conference finals this year. Not quite the same team they were last year, but I still have high hopes for this team. I said this team will win 60 games. That sounds crazy right about now. It does. I'm not going to lie. So that just kind of, preference my takes today by letting y'all know what the expectations from me were. Maybe the expectations were a bit too lofty. Maybe they're just fine. Maybe the Wolves, they're on the 2-game winning streak right now. Maybe they right the ship and just go on a crazy run and really get it going. But right now, I don't like everything that I've been seeing, man. We got to start with the bad. Jaden, Ant, I need them to be better defensively. The take is Jaden and Ant need to be better defensively. I know both of them have the ability to be better defensively, to be better than what they have been so far this season. I believe Anthony Edwards can be an all-defensive player if he really locked in on it. The same way Anthony Edwards has locked in on the three-point shot and is shooting the ball like Steph Curry, is the same way I believe he could be dominating defensively like a prime Kawhi Leonard. I really think he has those capabilities. Jumping passing lanes, physicality, athleticism, being able to stay in front of guys, quick feet. I believe he has that ability. Jaden, we already know what he can do. I believe he can be even better than what he was last year. But he was an all-defensive player last year. What I've seen from them defensively so far is just, I don't know, man. Like, again, maybe expectations are a bit too high, but they just seem kind of lax. It seemed kind of lackadaisical at times. It seems like just a lot of blow-bys. It seems like I'm going to flip the switch here and I don't know, man. Like I know we put a lot on Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year, but I believe at times the defense can start on the perimeter. Sometimes the perimeter players can set the tone, right? Make it hard for you to get to the basket. By the time you get to the basket, you can't even get up an efficient shot because you just struggled so much on the perimeter to even get down there. That's an easy block for Rudy. But instead, sometimes what I'm seeing is guys not rotating on defense properly, guys missing assignments, or just straight blow-bys, right? And now you got Rudy in a compromising position where, just like the playoffs, you could lob it, you could do a bounce pass right by him. It's 2 against 1, right? Or he just straight, these guys got no problem attacking Rudy Gobert. I'm talking going up, layups at the rack. They got no problem trying to dunk on him. Like, they have no problem attacking Rudy. So this, like, at times, Ole defense, where you just say, I'm going to just play you this way, play you to Rudy, get the block, we get the block, and we go in transition. That don't always work against some teams. That not getting and closing out on shooters, and that's not going to always work. Like, this team's defense, I'm not expecting it to be what it was last year. But I think if these two guys on the perimeter start to really insert themselves more defensively, it could be better. It could be a whole lot better. When you go down and you look at how these games are being played, they're not getting killed by the big men. Yeah, I know the Blazers getting 1 million blocks in the paint the other night. I know that. But offensively, De'Aaron Fox went for 60. Devin Booker went for like 44. Tyler Hero went for like 25, 26. Even Keldon Johnson for the Spurs was getting buckets. Sharp for the Blazers was getting buckets. It's like, it just looked like the guards are able to get whatever they want. And I believe these can be two of the best wing defenders in the league. Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. I believe they have that potential. I believe they have that potential. Nickeil Alexander-Walker still playing great defensively. I love what I see out of him. But man, when it comes to Ant and Jaden, I mean, come on now. And I know we expect a lot out of Ant offensively, so that may take away from the defense. And if that's the case, pick your spots. I would say pick your spots. But Ant can be better defensively, and so can Jaden. I need more from them both. I need more from them both on that side of the basketball. Take number 2, the ugly. Oh, the ugly. Oh, my goodness. Back-to-back L's to Portland? Portland? I know it's been, I couldn't respond to this when it first happened. You know, we got games to run here at the studio. I'm a producer first. But Portland? And it's no disrespect to Portland. No disrespect. But back-to-back L's to Portland, unacceptable for this basketball team. The Wolves have to understand, and I'm sure they do, but I'm gonna say it because I feel like it needs to be said. Last season was the first season the Minnesota Timberwolves advanced beyond the first round in 20 years. Before last season, the Wolves they make the playoffs and they're out. They make the playoffs, first round, they're out. They are happy to get out of the play-in, and they are on the scores table celebrating that they made it. They're happy to get in. I know that was a couple years ago, but I'm just saying they're happy to get in, right? Last year, they went on a crazy run, top 3 seed in the West, and even then in the first round against the 6th-seeded Suns, because of how they looked in the regular season, a lot of people didn't think they was going to win. A lot of people didn't think they was going to beat Phoenix, let alone sweep them. A legitimate argument could be made. The Wolves snuck up on teams last year. That you could make that argument that they snuck up on a lot of basketball teams last year, even in the playoffs. They were the hunters last year. They got to know coming into this season, them, Boston, the Pacers, and the Mavs are now the haunted. Y'all got to the conference finals. So now these young teams, these teams that are out to prove something, from the coaches down to the players, when they see y'all, we looking to prove something. Anthony Edwards, they say he the face of the league potentially. Rudy Gobert, that's the defensive player of the year. Let me go try to dunk on him. Naz Reid, 6th man of the year last year. Let me try to lock him up. They just made a trade for Julius Randle. Hey, Julius a baller. Let's try to, let's try to go score on him. Let's go to try to block his shot. These players are great defenders. This was the best defense in the league last year. Jaden was an all-defensive player. Let's get him in foul trouble. Like, that's the mindset that these teams are coming in with. It's not just about beating the Kings. It's not just about beating the Celtics or showing up against the Celtics, which I'm sure they will do. It's not just about giving you all against the Mavs, the team that got you last year. It's about these games too. And it's one thing to lose the first one. I get it. Even though you were fresh off of the bad Heat loss, in a way, I kind of get the Blazers loss because the first one, because it's like, all right, yeah, caught us slipping. Cool. Caught us slipping. But the second one, oh man. Lax defense, sloppy basketball, not converting on fast breaks. We got the ball alleys bouncing off the backboard. I'm just watching like, yo, what am I seeing right now? Like, I literally just did an episode about how the Wolves, they ain't losing back-to-back games. And I knew at some point it was going to happen. You're going to lose a back-to-back in the NBA. That's just, that's going to happen. It's the NBA. You're going to lose 2 games in a row, But championship teams pride themselves on not losing back-to-back games. That's just what you do. And I view them as a championship quality team. Like I said before, you didn't have to travel anymore. It wasn't like a game in Portland, then a game in Minnesota. You didn't have to go anywhere else. You were there in Portland. You lost one. It's time to get it back, and you lose the second one. I don't know, man. That was a tough one. It's very early, but that one was like, yo, it's okay to say it's early. It's also okay to be like, yo, that's not okay. That's not okay, man. Now to some good. We want to talk some good. This is not going to be a complete downer episode. I don't want to have that type of episode because they are 8-6 and they are on a 2-game win streak. So let's get to some good. Closing games won't be an issue for this team this year. That's an early conclusion that I'm drawing. It's an early conclusion that I'm drawing. And that's a really good conclusion to draw because this has been a problem for the Wolves for years now. I'm not going to go back too far. I'm just going to go back to last year after Christmas. The Wolves in the crunch time had the worst offensive rating in the league, 90. Now, so far in crunch time, they have the fourth best offensive rating in the NBA, 131.6. That ranks fourth again in the league. These guys look like they know how to close games, and you love to see it. Anthony Edwards in the clutch this year, 30 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 71% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, 88% from the free throw line. Balling, closing games. We saw him hit some big-time shots and have some big-time moments against the Kings. Big-time moment against Denver a while ago. He's playing great basketball when it comes down to winning. And he's making the right plays, too. Bringing up that Denver game again, made great passes to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's moving the ball when he needs to move the ball. So you love to see that. He's always trusting his teammates. Julius Randle, the man who just hit the big-time shot against Phoenix. Big-time game winner, by the way. Glad they didn't call an offensive foul. I thought that would have been lame if they did, right? Julius Randle, 16 points in the crunch, 5 of 11 from the field, 46%. We round up for Wolves players. 46% from the field, 50% from three, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. It helps to have another guy you can get a ball to and say, hey, make a play for yourself or make a play for others. They didn't really have that last year. Now, I was one that said, hey, in today's day and age, I look at Luka and I look at Kyrie and I look at, I look at Tatum and I look at Brown. I look at like wings and guards and be like, hey, man, you got to go get you one of those. And I still kind of feel like that. Giving away Mike Conley's playing and you still don't want to play my boy, Rob Dillingham a ton. I mean, played him a little bit in the Blazers, the second Blazers game, and I thought he made some plays. The plus minus say one thing, but I thought he made some plays, but I'm going to leave that for another. Again, I don't want to keep on harping on how y'all know I feel. But Julius Randle, being the point forward that he is, also kind of fills that gap in the crunch time. Hey, I can move the ball. I can hit the guys that's open. And if need be, I can make the play myself. It helps a ton. Last year, it was just Anthony Edwards making these decisions. Now you got two guys you can get the ball to legit make a decision. Two guys that's legit going. The defense got to look out for. And it's not just one thing. When with Karl Anthony Towns last year, he got that ball. He wasn't really going to pass much. He was driving to the rack or he was shooting the tray. With Julius, you don't really know what he's going to do. He could step back three. He could take it down to the post. He could catch you on the backdoor pass. You don't know what he's going to do. So defenses got to keep their eyes peeled a different way. And it is showing so far this season. So I love what I see out of the Wolves in the clutch. And it's going to help. If they can continue to do this, I'm sure it won't stay extremely efficient. But if they could just stay like a top, I'd say 7 team in the clutch, you know what I mean? If they could stay within that range or stay exactly where they are, but they stay within that range, I think they will be a force when it matters most when it comes to closing games. I think that's good stuff. Again, come a long way from what we've seen before in previous years. Now, unfortunately, I got to go back to some bad, but it's not ugly, right? It's just bad, and I think it's going to get good real soon. Donte DiVincenzo. He will wake up soon. He going to wake up soon. Right now it's bad, though. I ain't going to lie. Right now it's bad. Now, I understand in the Suns game, he did shoot like 5 of 10 from the three-point line, so maybe he's already turning it around. But leading up to that, man, you got a 3 of 10, a 4 of 11, a 2 of 7, a 1 of 3, a 0 of 6, and a 1 of 4. My goodness. That's tough. He was struggling to shoot the ball. And sometimes, again, it just takes games like what we just seen against Phoenix for him to really get it going again. You know what I mean? That's sometimes That's sometimes what it takes. I mean, from the field, 4 of 12, 4 of 12, 3 of 9, 1 of 3, 1 of 10. I believe that was the second. Was that the second or the first game against the Blazers? I got to go back and look. But 1 of 10 in one of those games, 1 of 4 in the Kings game. Man, look, I think Donte will be fine. I'm not worried about him at all. Again, sometimes as a shooter, you just need to work out these shooting slumps. They happen to the best of them. We didn't see Steph Curry go on shooting slumps. We didn't see some of the greatest shooters, Ray Allen. We didn't see them all going crazy shooting slumps where it's just like, man, I can't get nothing to fall. But at the end of the day, Donte is the type of player that I know is going to right this ship. And I'd rather have him going through these shooting issues now than later. Go through these shooting issues early in the season. Go through them now. Go through them in the first 20 games of the year. But that back 20, as long as you got it going, in the playoffs, as long as you got it going, nobody will be thinking about what you did in the first couple games of the season when you wasn't shooting the ball well. And the percentages will even themselves out. Because I think right now he's shooting, 34.8% from the three right now? Somewhere around in there? Like, it's not looking good right now. We round up again 35% from the three. I think he's gonna get a lot closer to 40%. He's gonna get a lot closer to 40% before the season is over with. So again, bad, but it's not ugly, and it's gonna be good. All right. Now I know I didn't go on the order of the thumbnail. I just wanted to, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's just the, y'all know the phrase. I probably went ugly, then bad, then good. I was all over the place. But at the end of the day, y'all get it. And I couldn't be me if I just gave y'all all positives today, given what I've seen. Couldn't do it. I'm here for the real takes, not the hot takes. I feel like they'll be fine. But I've been a little like, yo. Thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Four Wolves Takes. It's been fun. Again, I'm not overreacting, but I'm a fan just like y'all, man. I could be a little passionate, like, yo, all right now. I done seen enough. Let's get the ball rolling. Again, 2-game win streak, though. Let's continue to build on this. Big time game coming up against the Celtics on Sunday. Let's make an early statement and keep the ball rolling. I will catch y'all on the next episode of Four Wolves Takes.